Now, when we talk about growth rates, it probably comes as no surprise to you that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. Christianity has basically been keeping pace with human population growth for over 100 years now. Right now, if you take all shapes and sizes of Christians, we're talking about 32.5% of the world would say, yeah, I'm a Christian. 1 out of every 3 people. If you go back 100 years, 1 out of 3 people would have said then, yes, I am a Christian. Where those people are from and what kind of Christianity they practice was very different, but the 1 out of 3 ratio has remained more or less constant over the last 100+ years. Now, what's important to note about this is that although Christianity hasn't been growing as a proportion of humanity, Islam has significantly and on a sustained basis, but the vast majority of Muslim growth has been because of natural reproduction, not predominantly because of conversion. Yes, conversion is happening, of course, within the Islamic framework. Of course, conversion is also happening out of the Islamic framework and into other religions or into non-religion. But the large majority, and we estimate probably 90% plus, is from just the natural birth rates of Muslim communities. However, maybe I'll go back one here. You can see another important note, especially for those of us from the Western world, from the global north, the non-religious population is actually declining relative to overall human population. And this is a narrative that perhaps you hear in the global south. We certainly hear all the time in the global north, and that is that religion is the product of a bygone, superstitious, primitive era, and the future of enlightened humanity is that of secularism and non-religion. That is the common narrative that the media portrays in the global north. However, the demographic reality is quite different to that. In the year 1970, 80% of the world was affiliated with a religion of one kind or another, whether one of the major world religions or whether an African traditional religion or some other animistic practice from another part of the world. By 2025, we are estimating that up to 90% of the world will have a religious affiliation. So the world is not becoming less religious. The world is in fact becoming more religious. And this is something that we often in the West need to take into account because the predominant narrative in the media tells us that secularism is on this relentless, unstoppable advance into our belief systems, our worldviews, our societies, and our cultures.